Alright, so you clicked on the video, you know what the video is about, and you've probably been in a situation like this, where you're just laying in bed, you're minding your own business, you're just scrolling Twitter, having a good time, laughing at the jokes on there, and then boom, all of a sudden you see someone that you may know or may not know, and you check out their film or something, and it turns out they get a scholarship, and all of a sudden you're pressed because you don't know why they got a scholarship and you didn't, quite frankly. That's what goes through a lot of people's heads. Why did they get a scholarship? Why did I not get a scholarship to this school that I wanted to go to? Why is that fair? They're not even that good. Or my vert's better, or my 40's better, and then all of a sudden you're super motivated to get up and go train and work your hardest to get that scholarship, but hold on, you don't know how to do that. You don't know where to start, and you don't know what the first step you should be taking, but then it hits you. Maybe it's not something that you aren't doing that's keeping you from getting a scholarship, but maybe it's something that you are doing that's actually keeping you from a scholarship. Hence the video, and that's why we're kind of here today, so let's get into it. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Javis and today I'm your captain and we're going to talk about the different things that you may be doing that's keeping you from getting a scholarship. But first, a big stretch because I'm sore from my workouts this week. And as always guys, if you want to talk about what we're talking about today or any other future topic, or you just want to hang out with me, say what's up, then you guys can pop into my stream at about 7:30 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I'm on Twitch primarily, and for now I'm doing YouTube and Twitch, but I suggest you guys go to Twitch because I will be exclusively moving the whole live streaming platform to just Twitch eventually. So go ahead, follow me on there, and I'll obviously link myself down in the description down below if you're interested in following me, so go ahead and do that. I'd really appreciate it, of course. And if you want other ways to make suggestions on maybe what I make videos on, I'll go ahead and put my socials right here, and those are linked in the description down below as well, so hit me up on those, follow me on those for updates about the live streams or any updates about any future videos that I release that come out on Mondays at 9 a.m. Pacific time, just so we're clear. Well, let's just cut straight to it, right? Listen, we're gonna do the simple stuff right in the front, just so we can get the majority of you that might not be doing this or might be doing this out of the way, because you guys would be surprised at the amount of people that actually don't do the simple stuff. I forgot a light, honestly. Ta-da! Now the whole scene looks different. Alright, so the first point I have for you guys today is actually the fact that you guys made your highlights and how it's actually keeping you from getting recruited. Let me explain first before you go down in the comments and you say, "Oh, you always tell us to make highlights, you tell us to make good highlights." First of all, why do you sound like that? Second of all, I know I'm always telling you guys to make your highlights, but hear me out first, please. I think the universal goal of highlights, and I think we can all agree, is to impress a coach and to make them go wow from watching your highlights and make them want to immediately contact you, that hopefully you have the contact information somewhere in your highlights, preferably at the beginning. Now it's hard to do that when the coach doesn't even know what player you are or what position you even play, and it especially doesn't help if you just have your highlights all randomly placed and you don't have your best highlights at the front and you even have your huddle page updated or anything. Maybe it would help you guys understand what you need to put if I put it like this. How would you guys recruit for your school if you saw your own profile and you were looking at yourself as a potential prospect to recruit for the school, and you were looking at them because they hit you up on Twitter or something and you just didn't have anything? You didn't have any made highlights, and the highlights that you did have made were all varied and some of them were not as good as others. Would you stick around if you had tens of, if not hundreds more kids throwing you all of their highlights? No. If you get lucky enough to actually have a coach review your film, you better have your highlights organized, and even more so, you better have yourself highlighted so that they know who the hell they are watching before the clip even starts. A lot of times I see players make the mistake of highlighting themselves after the clip starts, and in very rare circumstances does this make sense. Say you come from off screen onto screen, then you highlight yourself, which makes sense. But if you're a running back or you're a receiver and they are trying to look at which one you are, they want to see what your first step looks like, how you come off the ball, they want to see how you react to different things before you might highlight yourself. They want to see the whole play. They want to see how you play football as a whole, not just the little snippet of where you want them to see. And a lot of times coaches will just pass up on people's film because they don't know what they're watching or who they're watching. And if you highlight yourself late, they'll actually get annoyed at the fact that they have to keep going back just to see where you were before you highlighted yourself. Because regardless of whether or not you highlight yourself late or early, they're gonna look at you for the whole play. And if you take more time for them to have to go through your highlights, not all coaches may feel the need to have to do that. And so they'll just move on to another person's film, and you're not getting recruited at that point. And again, let me just reiterate, this is the simplest tip I have for you guys out here today. This is the one I see so much when I watch your guys' films. It honestly makes me want to DM you right then and just say, guys, look, fix this right now, but that's too many for me to do individually, so here's me trying to help you guys right now. Alright, look, jumping into the second one, let's just say straight up, you might be playing the wrong position. A lot of you are very, very hesitant, myself included, to even dabble in suggesting yourself to switch positions. I know it's a scary thing. I've done it a lot myself. I've switched a lot of different positions in my whole time throughout college and high school. It's not easy because you're learning the fundamentals of a whole different position, but in the end, it actually does make you a better athlete overall, and it makes you much more highly recruitable. If you're a big wideout and your team moves you to, say, tight end, just because you might not be as fast as some of the other guys, that might be an advantage for you, simply because, one, you are advanced at running routes comparatively to maybe the other tight ends. You're going to be a better route runner, and you might be able to catch the ball a little bit better, so that already puts you in position to shine a little bit more above the other tight ends. And of course, this can be applied to a lot of different positions, because a lot of them is just about being a good athlete, and they all use aspects of each other in one way or another. This is extreme, but taking that same base position of a wide receiver, say you get moved to D-line. Now you might be thinking, how does this work in D-line? Listen, let me present to you the pass rush. When you're pass rushing, it's almost the same as trying to get around a DB when you're running a route. So when you're trying to get to that quarterback and you're bending the corner around and you're swiping their hands across, just remember that this might have translated from you learning how to get around man press. Another reason that you're not getting recruited is quite simply bad grades. All right, let's just talk about this really quick because it's very important, and all of your coaches, all of your advisors have probably told you, you have to get good grades. It's very important, and you're not going to be able to play football without good grades. So just make sure you're showing up to class, doing the work, you're turning in the homework, and you're at least giving some study time to the quizzes, all right, and the exams and all of that. Because if you don't get good grades and you don't do good on your SATs, your ACTs, any of that, you don't get a good GPA, you're not going to be able to go to college. Basically, you're going to have to go to junior college, like I did, but mine wasn't for bad grades. Also, another thing is if you don't get good grades, you're limiting yourself in where you can go to college. If Ivy League school comes to you and says, hey, we want you on the team, we want to take you to Brown, we want to take you to Yale or something like that, and you don't have the grades to provide for that, then you're SOL, basically. And don't go thinking that that's not realistic, because in that mindset, you're already counting yourself out. You can't really do that when you're trying to get to college football. You can't count yourself out and think you're not good enough. You gotta always believe that you're gonna be able to hit that, and that includes your grades too. If you don't think you're gonna be able to hit the grades, then there's no point in really continuing in college football, because it only gets harder. The classes get harder. The time you have to dedicate to those classes gets that much harder. So if you already have that mindset in high school where the classes aren't nearly as hard, you're gonna have a rough time, buddy. My next reason is gonna sound a lot like a reason a lot of you already probably tell yourselves, but just hear me out first, like the ones before, because it's not really as what it seems. Another reason that you might not be getting the scholarships you want could be because your coach just isn't recommending you. Now, I know a lot of people have this problem. I personally had this problem as well. But the thing is, a lot of people have this problem for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons that didn't apply to me in this situation was that they just didn't show up. They didn't prove to the coach that they were worthy to be presented to colleges as a legitimate college recruit. Because if the coach couldn't rely on them to at least show up to weights, show up to practice, show up to meetings on time and ready to go, and you're prepared, like this is what you want to do, you're demonstrating that to your coach, then why would they present that to a coach with their reputation on the line? And if you go there and you start messing around and you aren't a good student of the game, that looks bad on them too. Those coaches will stop going to them and getting the athletes that they recommend to them because you look bad on their resume as far as the coaches go. Another reason that you might not be getting recommended by your coach could be that that coach just might not have the connections that you want them to have or that they wish they had. Maybe they're a young coach, maybe they're a coach that just typically didn't put out a whole lot of athletes before you came to the school. Maybe that school just didn't have a whole lot of talent for them to put out, and maybe you're one of the first athletes to come through there that really should be given a chance to shine on a bigger platform, a bigger stage, if you will. This situation does lead me to my next point, which is that you're not reaching out on your own. You're leaving it all up to your coaches. You're leaving it all up to the chances that a coach is just gonna find you by chance. That is not a good probability, and I'm not a betting man, but I definitely wouldn't bet on that if I was. By reaching out to all these different avenues, you're increasing the probability that you're gonna be able to move on or have a coach at least look at your film, and if not recruit you, they could at least give you some feedback on something that you might want to improve coming into the next season, assuming you do have a next season. You know, I talked about this in my second video I ever made, about 3 tips to get recruited, so I'll be very brief and I'll go over this really quick so you guys don't have to listen to me spiel again in case you already watched that video. Basically, you need to go out and you need to go on these different websites of these schools and you need to find all the different coaches, see if they got emails, see if they got Twitters, Instagrams, whatever might be on there, and DM them, email them, be active on Twitter. Just find new avenues to put yourself out there, because if you can get yourself out there and you can look different compared to all the different athletes that are being presented to them, if you have a very interesting subject line on your email that might catch a coach's eye and that might get them to watch your film, then that might be the in that you need. And another avenue that you can take to help yourself get to college is by subscribing to this channel. Shameless plug. It's probably the dumbest way I've ever said that. But seriously, if you guys are enjoying the video, please like and comment and let me know what you guys think of it, and let me know what you guys think of the video, and go ahead and share it with anybody that might need some help, might need some information given to them. If you're a parent, share it with your kids if they're looking to take it to the next level. And if you guys want to talk about this more, go ahead, jump into my Twitch stream. I'm live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7:30 p.m. roughly. We play video games, we talk about a variety of subjects, honestly. It's all crazy kinds of things, so hopefully I'll see you guys in there. My name is Javis, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Yeah, baby! Yes, sir!